Hello everyone, it's Annette Green back again in my weekly 2023 planner. This is my memory keeping planner from Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's the full-size planner in the vintage black, and I am documenting my life this year 1 week at a time, and one page is 1 week. So if you have been joining me all along, welcome back. I appreciate you, and if you're new here, welcome. I take you through the process of building my single little week page and talk about some tips and ideas and little design things that I like to do as I go through. And so we're going to get right into week 23 over here. And I always begin by taking a look at my phone camera, my photos, and checking out, like what did we do and what photos were the most important. And when I get those decided upon, then I just sort of make a little bit of a plan. I always start with photos first as far as making a plan and deciding on colors, because we don't want to clash with anything that's going on in here. So looking at my main photos, we had some company. Our friends Frank and Sue came to visit from Florida, and we hiked and we biked and we ate and we just had a great time. But I didn't take a ton of photos, just the most important things. So this one here to me just seems like a great photo to use as the focal point. There's a lot of open space. You get the idea that we went for a hike, but there's some open spaces here that I'm going to utilize in my design of my page this time. Before we get any further, I get a question every time. What kind of printer do you use? What kind of paper do you use? So this is my printer. It's just a good old, all-in-one excellent photo printer, and I print my photos in Photoshop Elements, and I just kind of gang them up on glossy photo paper. I'm sure this is HP glossy photo paper, just good quality photo paper. Okay, and so I do have the rest of this that I could print more photos on. Even if I cut this, I can still feed it through my printer, so I don't waste anything here. And you see I have pictures turned sideways and whatever, and that's just to fit best on the paper without wasting too much. Okay, so we have our main photo, which I'm going to plan to be the focal point up here with a little header at the top, and a couple more photos, and you never know, somebody might get cut. We don't know. What else do I have? I have our little parking hang tag from going on our hike, and I see this logo right here. I could use more things, but I think I'm going to use the logo off of there. And so everywhere I go, I'm always collecting and grabbing these types of things. My husband was in the front seat and we were heading home, and he was getting ready to crumple this up and throw it away, and I freaked out and I was like, give it to me, give it to me. So memory keepers understand what I'm saying. Also, I need to work in the numbers 2 and 3, 23 for week 23, so I have those ready. I have some stamps and some other dies over here. The numbers that I have been using are from the Planner Essentials 37, the stitched letters and numbers. And I will, of course, link to everything below. And keep in mind that my links, if you use them to shop, you earn 10% off your entire order. So make sure you use the links and don't just leave the video and go to Elizabeth Craft's website. Get your discount. Okay, so over here I have grabbed, this is a stamp set by Yoset. It's CS296, Good Food, Good Mood. And it kind of goes along with the food truck, but it is sold separately. So it's a great one to have for different purposes other than the food truck. So I see things like fresh baked goods, which we definitely have right here. So if this photo makes the cut, I might use that stamp. Food is my best friend. Calories don't count. There's a lot of cute things in here you could add to the page. So I just have that at the ready. And I wanted to include a bicycle. So I was looking through all my dies, and I do have this older one, Planner Essentials 18, the home page. It's in the shape of a Dutch building. I think this is very traditional over there in Amsterdam area. I have never used this page die, so I need to go to the Netherlands clearly so that I can document a fun trip. But this is the one that has the bicycle, because everybody bikes, right? In Holland. So I wanted to use that because we did go for a bike ride, so hopefully I can work that in. I have got Planner Essentials 29, the directions die set. And I like these arrows for my hole reinforcers. I'm going to use those, and there's a whole bunch of different arrows. I have used this several times on different pages prior. So I have a plan to work those in. And then I have the word friends here, and this is another really old one, Planner Essentials 7. I do love to go back and pull older dies so that, you know, we all have them and we don't want to just use brand new stuff. So I like to pull out the old stuff and continue to use it. Now, hopefully it's still available. We'll see. When I go to link everything below, we'll see. And finally, because sometimes we have other products from different companies that we like to use, and I just got this recently from Close to My Heart. It's called Summer Bucket List. There is the number there. I will link to that as well. I have a wonderful Close to My Heart consultant. If you don't, you can use that link to get there. But gosh, there's all these great phrases on here that I knew would come in handy for the summertime. And so I want to use bike rides and hiking over here. But there's all kinds of stuff. Read a book, date night, fireworks, water fights, family time, bucket list, road trip, camping, you know, great stuff. Okay, let's talk for a minute about cropping photos, because I don't really cover that, I don't think, in any previous videos. So let me find a great example here. Okay, so this photo here, this is my iPad. This is a great photo. Somebody else took it. If I had taken it, I would have, you know, gotten nice and tight here with the people in the photo. And it's nice to have all the food and whatnot, but really it's about the people and the visits. So you could use this entire photo just the way it is, but I would tend to want to crop it down. And so that is exactly what I've done here. And if you take a look, I mean, the most important things are us. It's us and maybe those great desserts, but you know, I took a photo of the desserts nice and close too. So again, I don't know if they're going to make it, but just know that even though the photo is taken a certain way, you definitely can resize and recrop that yourself and have a lot of control. And this is much more pleasing, I think, than to have, you know, light poles and halves of buildings and a chair. You know, get those things out. Let's crop it tight. Here we go. Here's my page, nice and plain. We're going to have those hole reinforcements eventually, but I've got my main kind of focal point here photo, and then just so that we're all in there together and not just the backs of everybody, we have this nice close-up of all of us, little selfie, and then we have our wonderful bakery stop that evening. And I'm running out of room, right? So I don't think the dessert close-up is going to make it. It's not that important. It's right there. It's lovely. You get the idea. Because we still need a little room to say a little something about who's in the photo and what we're doing. And also I wanted my little bicycle in here. Not sure if that's going to make it either. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe coming off of there. This is just the die laying here, but we do have our 23. And we've got our State Park Service logo. So I just want you to see, this is kind of how I go about it. And there will be photo mats on all these photos, and I think I'm just going to go with black, because as I look at the photo, I see a lot of, you know, there's a lot of colors. However, I do see a little black here and there in each photo, and I think that's just going to ground everything nicely together. So I'm going to get those onto photo mats. I'm going to cut out my little bicycle and my numbers, and that way we'll move just a little bit closer to the next step. Okay, so my next step would be to decide on some colors for my elements. And since these are my only 3 photos, this is very easy. So let's get in a little closer. So I see that one pop of color. Do you see it right here? Sue's shirt is this great melon kind of sorbet color, and so that dictated what I wanted to do next. And so I grabbed some cardstock. Of course, I have cardstock of every color, so I'm lucky. But that is what I cut out my 23 from, and I think that's going to go up there. And I also stamped out bike rides, but then I cut off the S from ride. So I stamped that on that same color, and I'm thinking it needs to go over here because, even though the bike's going to be over here, because what I want to have happen, maybe, we'll see, is for the eye to go this way, following these colors. We'll see, we'll see. Then I needed another color because I didn't want to just use that color all over the place for everything, for stamping out hiking and for cutting out my bicycle and the word friends. So I was looking at the photos and I have this overall blue going on, and even in the white areas it's a shade of blue just because of the sky and the reflections. So I thought that would be nice, and so we might put that up there. And I got my bicycle in the same color. Now the bicycle and the word friends, I don't think they're going to stand up very well on their own without something behind them. So to solve that issue, like, you know, you could make this all fancy and make just the wheels black and the seat brown and the basket. I don't have time for that. So I'm just going to do a little drop shadow of the same die cut, just using black. I'm going to glue these two together. And then as you can see, that makes that bicycle stand out so much better. And of course, that's what I'll do as well with my word friends down here or here. I don't know. I don't want to cover up the dessert. We talked about it. We got to keep it in there. So I have just a little bit of room right here for talking about, you know, this week, which is okay. That's okay. Maybe bike rides will come down here somewhere. I don't know. Bike ride. I mean, that sort of just defeated the purpose. So we'll see. I do have this logo. Not sure if it's going to make it. We'll see. We'll see where it works. Maybe it'll work right there. A lot of overlapping is always good, as I always say. Bike ride. Bike ride. Okay, it's taking some shape. I still have to cut out my hole reinforcements, and I'm going to do those with some more black. So let me get a little more prepared here and we'll come back and assemble. Okay, I got a lot of things going on here. I've been playing around. Everything's just kind of laying here yet. I did cut out my little arrows, and look at this. I'm going to save that for something else. Of course, it won't fit here, but it could be something really cool as a border on another page coming up sometime. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm thinking. And rather than have these arrows just all coming, you know, pointing straight down or over or whatever, I'm going to have them turn different ways, I think. Okay, and then I mounted my 23 on black as well, and I put a little line with black Sharpie just to kind of have that same look as Bike Ride, the way that is. I've got my hiking up there. I've got everything on the black, laying it all out. And then I discovered as I was playing with this die, I was just going to use this part for journaling. But then I realized, never knew this, these nest in here perfectly. And there's even like a little indented, two little holes, like, I don't know if you can see them, kind of like how it's nailed to the sign kind of thing. So that's kind of cute. So I was thinking maybe I wouldn't use this whole post, and I would just use the black outlines and the inside part and cut away this main post and use that somehow. And by the way, it doesn't look like I'm going to use this after all. Maybe for a future hike. I won't get rid of it. I'll put it in my little save it bin over there. Okay, so I'm going to ink these edges. I've been using this black soot just because, a lot of black, and I might as well just keep on using it. And while I do this, I will talk about my sale that is continuing. If you watched either last week or the week before, I don't remember, I talked about how I am getting ready to move again, and I'm going to have a little bit smaller, at least closet space in the new crafting studio. So I have been selling things here and there, and it's been going very well, and I'm not done. So I am definitely going to continue that in the coming weeks. It's just I am super duper busy getting ready for a class in Illinois. Lots of kits. I have to make 60 kits for that, so that takes quite a bit of time. and you know, just other things. I'm designing my next release for the fall, hopefully, with Elizabeth Craft Designs. So there's lots going on. Okay, so as far as the sale goes, if you don't know at all what I'm talking about, it's on Facebook. It is through Facebook Marketplace, but I have a private group that only can see what I'm selling. So I will put my link. If we are not Facebook friends, we need to be for me to add you to that group. Or if you find the group somehow, I don't know how you would, you can ask to be invited. And then I'm just listing things, and I'm coming up on some Graphic 45 extras that I have, but also you'll see maybe some 49 and Market stuff and some metal items, Tim Holtz, really old metal stuff that I just have been hanging on to and hanging on to. Let's see, that one doesn't even fit on another one. Okay, so here's the idea. I'm just going to probably cut one more of these for that. We'll see. But I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to cut this off, and I don't think that's going to fit. Nope. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these off. So I don't know if you were aware of it, but those fit those little things perfectly. And it takes a little less time to, you know, mount each one of these ivory things onto black cardstock and cut around it. Now this one, I could just trim it to fit. We'll see. But so I eliminated that one, you know, South Carolina State Park Service thing. And instead I decided I'm going to actually write Paris Mountain, because that's the mountain that we climbed on, because so often we forget, where did we take them? Which mountain did we climb? You know. So that's the plan there. And then down here, I want to say who we're with. And I think I might only have room for 2, but maybe 3. We'll see. I just thought it might look kind of cool to have these kind of lined up down the page, but it might just be 2, and that's fine, because 1, 2, 3 odd numbers are great. Okay, well, I'm going to take a moment, get all this put together, do my little journaling stuff, and we'll be back. Okay, so I just need to snip this off carefully. As I've said before, I like to have things going off the page. I don't all have to stay within those boundaries. But there is my page. I'm done. I didn't, you know, I tried bike ride over here. It just didn't make sense. So it is what it is. That's fine. I think it's cute. I almost left off the word bike altogether and just had ride, but I just left it in there. And so there we go. Next week, I think that when we come back, I'm going to, you know, do week 24, of course. However, I'm going to add, like I do, a little something at the end usually. I had a request that asked me about 12 by 12 layouts, which I haven't done in forever. And so I thought it would be fun to pull out some old ones and take a look at different things and techniques and whatever, in case some of you still do 12 by 12 or just would like to see that. Please know always that you can ask me anytime if you'd like to see something in a video, and I'd be happy to share it. So there we go, folks. Week 23 is done, in the books. And I thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Always love to see that like button pushed. And that's it for me. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.